Hi everybody, I'm Rebecca Keppel. I'm here today for LDRS Creative, and I wanted to show you how to use border dies to create a really fun pattern for the background of a card that makes it really easy to tuck in little die cut and colored figures. So first you can see you'll need two different colors of cardstock, both in the card size. So I'm using 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to use the turquoise that I'm going to cut. I have the LDRS Cutting Edge Borders 1, and I'm going to line it up across the card. The die has to go all the way across the card and cut it out completely. And I'm going to do that at the bottom of that 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of turquoise cardstock, and I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to run it through again with the same die, cutting the top off. And I'm going to set that aside as well. Now we have a large middle piece that I need to cut at least in half, because otherwise you're just going to cover up the entire orange, and that's not what I'm looking for here. So I lay the die down and I try and go along the wave that I already have cut. And I've cut it into two different pieces. I'm going to put one with my card and I'm going to set the other aside for another project. Now that I have my background cut out, I'm going to stamp and color and die cut some critters. I have the Monster Mash set from LDRS Creative, and I have pulled out both of the monsters, a balloon, a little present, and a little starburst, and I have them in my MISTI so that I can double stamp them if I need to. I'm using the LDRS Creative Hybrid ink in Raven, and that is a good ink if you want to color with Copic markers, which is what I'm going to do. I wanted a few more pieces to put in my card, so I am stamping the large monster again, as well as the balloon, the present, and the starburst. You want enough critters to tuck behind all of those little hills, so I really wanted a few things to sprinkle around the card. Now I'm going to take the coordinating dies and I'm going to temporarily adhere them with some Thermoweb purple tape, and that is a really easy way to make sure that those dies stay exactly where you want them and don't move around, so that you can send them through your die cut machine and have that nice little white border all the way around where it's supposed to be. I did look at this little starburst a little bit to try and make sure that I lined it up just right. Turns out that it's pretty much okay no matter where you put it. It looks fine. Okay, so now I have everything cut out and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is lay out the card before I start adhering anything down. I want to make sure that I'm going to have room for my sentiment as well. I like the sentiment on that middle swipe there, so I'm going to rearrange some of these monsters so that I don't have both blue monsters together and you have lots of visual triangles going on and contrasting colors. I'm going to put that middle swipe in my MISTI and hold it down with the magnet. I'm going to ink up with that same hybrid ink, and I do like to double stamp my sentiments. This way they come out nice and dark and you can really see them, and they're nice and clear as well. So now everything gets pushed to the side a little bit. The top piece doesn't have anything underneath it, so I'm going to put a Memory Runner XL, which is just my tape runner, all over it and adhere it down. For the middle one, I am going to tuck a monster and a few other things behind it, so I'm only going to put tape runner on the bottom, and I'm just going to now start adhering the rest of my pieces. Same thing for this bottom swipe. I'm only going to put tape runner at the bottom. It should be fine even without the tape runner on the top, as long as you use a nice strong adhesive. And that leaves me lots of space to tuck things behind it and make sure that I am using all of my spaces. So now I'm just going to place the presents and that little starburst as well. If your little stripes are coming up, you can sneak a little bit of liquid adhesive behind them, but for this card I didn't have that problem. I'm going to use that same tape runner to adhere this card panel down to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch top folding note card, and that completes my card. And it's just another way to get a lot of use out of your border dies, is to use them to create a pattern, and all you have to do is die cut some cardstock out of coordinating colors or contrasting colors If you're interested in any of the supplies that I used today, they'll all be linked down below so you can check them out. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel here and check out my blog if you're interested. I'll also have a couple of other videos that you might want to check out as well. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.